Victoria, don't jump to conclusions. Mom, I was brought here for a reason. I highly doubt my dad or brother knows anything about the book. Please, Mom, tell me the truth. Yes, Victoria. I found the Wallace diary. I didn't want to tell you because, well, I didn't even know you had heard about it until now. But since I have just told you something regarding the diary, I need to hear something from you. What is your affiliation with the diary? I know there's something more going on. I mean, the Wallace diary, Victoria? Either you were watching me bury it, or you know more about it than you let on. I do, and I will tell you about it, but please, Mom, how did you find it? I found it outside in the backyard. It looked like a book. There was dirt all over it, and I don't know how long it had been there, but the pages were empty. I knew it was the Wallace diary from the way it looked, and I buried it back in the dirt because I did not know what to do with it. What about Mr. Stevens? You could have given it to him. I didn't know Mr. Stevens knew very much about the Wallace diary. Well, is it still outside? Yes. Why? I'll be right back. Victoria, what's going on? They're not picking up. Victoria? Sorry, Mom. Okay. Since you know about the werewolves and vampires, I'll tell you everything. Uncle Brent? Yeah? Colton? Did you find something? I think so. That dates back all the way to 30 years ago when the town was just reaching a large population. A teenage girl wandered around the edge of the woods and was attacked by a group of animals. Attacked in the woods by a wildcat and or snake, a 19-year-old girl, Viviane Carson. I thought I'd show you that because of how off the story sounds. And maybe if we find her, we can convince the police to keep our town safe from any danger of some vampire stopping at nothing to get the Wallace diary. So you never mentioned this to me? Mom, I'm sorry, but like I said, Mr. Stevens helped out a lot. 1 second. Hello? Mr. Stevens! I need to tell you something very important. Yeah? Can you bring it by the park? I'll be there in 10 minutes. Okay, bye. Victoria, where are you going? Mom, there's something... I'm coming with you! There's no way I'm not going to help. What park is it? Dean, you made it. Yeah, do you guys need any extra help? The more help, the better. Thank you all for coming. Dean, it's nice to see you. I thought you said you didn't know him. I don't. I know your father, Dean. He is a very trustworthy and helpful person, so I assume you are too. Yes, I am. Great, but before we start this meeting, I want to call our attention to the diary. The diary was buried in my backyard by my mom. She buried it because she didn't know what to do with it, but as far as how it got there, we don't know. May I see the book? Here. How did you know it was in your backyard? I asked Scott Wallace for some guidance. That still works? How? I don't know, but it did. He didn't tell me who buried it, but he did tell me why. Then he brought me to my house. So what is this goal you kids are trying to make? Well, now that we have the diary back, not quite. What do you mean? That is the diary. I never told you all this, but the diary you all see here is just the cover. What do you mean it's just a cover? I was going to cast the spell on the diary because it was never going to be in the city hall, but it's now or never. What happened to it? Nothing. It's back to its original form, how it looked like over 50 years ago. I cast the cover spell over the book so it could appear different, just in case someone wanted to steal it, like how the vampires wanted 2 years ago. But it didn't work, right? Precisely, because I underestimated the vampires. So now what? We have the diary. How are we going to make sure that it's not going to be stolen again? We just need to keep an eye on it while we're driving it down to City Hall. What if it's stolen down there too? I'll cast some sort of protection spell, but we need to get going before it becomes dark. I'll drive. Viviane. Yes? May I ask you something? Sure, what is it? We found an old article about a teenager who was attacked by an unknown creature. Was that really you? Yes, it was. Since we are on the topic of mythical creatures now, you may have already guessed why the creature tried to attack me. Actually, I stumbled upon a werewolf and vampire. I was walking back home one day through the forest until I heard a noise. I ran away from the noise, but the wolf must have heard me and followed. The vampire was angry that the wolf ran away from him, so it started to attack. It missed and clawed me instead. After I fell to the ground, the vampire and werewolf tried to help me back up. Together, I could see an apologetic look on their faces. I've heard about the creatures around town. You know, rumors, but I didn't think that they could have been helpful to someone who they didn't even know. My whole perspective changed about mythical creatures after that. That's an amazing story, Viviane. It is. Thank you. And I hope you enjoyed it too, Victoria. Let's just get this book to City Hall. Come on. The diary's on the move. What? Yes! How are they tracking it? I don't know, but it was a tip from an unknown source. Why are we trusting this? Hazel, no one has done this before. Why start now? Okay, let's go. Okay, so it's all done? Great. Cole just informed me that the mayor had just put in an industrial safe for the diary. It shouldn't leave that spot. Wow, that's a relief. I still don't feel good about this. What do you mean? Dean, how will the mayor protect the Wallace diary? I mean, we don't even know who took it out of the werewolf's grasp in the first place. They can't break the safe though, right? Well, the diary cannot be touched by vampires, so it would either have to be a human or some other creature. Well, you said you've talked to Mason's dad. He wanted to retrieve it and then it was stolen from his fellow werewolves? That's it? But how do we even know that it was even stolen from his grasp? Because my dad wanted the book back and was even going to leave Mr. Stevens a note. But before he could... Wait a minute. I thought he had the book before the note. I thought he did. So, how was he going to leave the note as he was running away from the diary? Dean, I don't know. That's all he said. My dad wouldn't risk everything for a lie. Maybe he wanted to distract us by pretending it was stolen so we didn't have to deal with the fight between vampires retrieving the book again. My dad wouldn't send us on a wild goose chase if he knew how much the diary meant to all of us. Both of you, please. You're right. I'm sorry. There are some holes in my dad's story. No, man, I'm sorry. It's okay. Mr. Stevens, when you were discussing this with my dad, what did he say? You know, I'm not trying to point fingers, but maybe we should go talk to him. What about the diary? I'll call Victoria and tell her to stay at the City Hall for a little bit. And stall the mayor? I guess? I think it would be better if I go and talk to him. Maybe he'll open up more. Alright. Call us if you hear anything. Dad. Oh, Mason. This is a surprise. What brings you home? Dad, have you heard anything about the diary? That's actually what I came here to talk to you about. The night it was stolen, you told me that you were going to leave a note for Mr. Stevens telling him that you took the book back. Correct. So why not just tell him instead of going through all that trouble? I mean, the way it happened, that was more like a robbery than a simple question. Mason, what are you saying? I'm saying that some things don't add up, Dad. So this is what it's come to. You betraying your own father for the diary. Dad, I'm not betraying you. I'm just simply asking, why not ask for the diary instead of basically stealing it back? You think I stole it, Mason? Well, you apparently left a note saying that you had originally taken the diary back here, and then it was just stolen out of your hands? Yes, exactly, Mason. Now what is your point? You didn't ask for it back because of a reason. Maybe Mr. Stevens didn't want to give it back to you because he thought that it wouldn't be safe outside of the library. As soon as you took it, you wanted to be the good guy and leave a note. However, you said someone else had taken it out of your hands. Maybe you just wanted the blame off yourself because you have the diary. You wanted to send us on this chase. Now why would I do that? Why would I leave you searching when you could get suspicious and think, hey, why haven't I seen the vampires attack? Think again after you come in here and interrogate someone. Then why did they take it? Why not just ask for it? Mason, Dad, please, I just want to know who took the diary. Why? You have it back already. Because it just doesn't make sense. It was too easy. You're crazy, Mason. You should be happy that it's back. Of course I'm happy, Dad. Then why go on? Because I just feel like you're not telling me the whole story. Oh, just because something doesn't add up. I just have this feeling that you're not telling me everything that happened. That's all. You think that I took the diary, kept it from everyone because I wanted it for myself? That Scott Wallace, a human, could protect it more than me, a werewolf, could ever? That no one would be suspicious that vampires are suddenly not attacking us anymore? Think about that. Well, Dad, you've had to see someone who took the diary. I mean, if someone grabbed it out of a werewolf's hands, who was it? Mason. Dad, I don't know. Look, Mason, instead of trying to find the person who took the diary, why don't you leave it up to me, okay? Fine, Dad. I will. I'm sorry for accusing you. Thank you, Mason. Now there's some leftover dinner if you want some.